Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, August 7th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and the NQ. So again, a pretty big wipeout by the bears, especially in ES's case, in our checklist sheet, as they win 5-0. NQ bears win 4-2, but that's also on top of the fact that bulls started with gap, value, and in NQ's case, indices. Also in NQ's case, you had the overnight high and one time frame and up in B period. So they had a healthy 5-0 lead before it all came to a crash and halt. But the question is, a couple of questions. We're getting close to the balance high, right? We're in balance on the weekly. So we're coming close to it. Is that something that deterred us from going any higher? And the other thing is, ES did go out with a trend day down. NQ has nothing. We have over an $8 range in NQ. And all they have is the day's highs and lows. So again, like I told the rooms, helmets, safety goggles, and vests are required for NQ tomorrow if you open up inside of this range. We've had some vicious chop lately in early time frames. So, and that today it was with a gap higher and all those things in favor of the bulls, and that happened as we reversed late in the time frame. The other thing to keep in mind, with 1 day to go in the week, it's an inside week. So if we don't come out of the inside week, then going into next week, not only are we in balance on the weekly, but now you have a chance to come out of an inside week either up or down and attack the balance high or low on the weekly. So there could be some good opportunities. Look, $8 range and average volume in SPY and basically Qs, we can't complain that much. If you didn't stay in trades and get stubborn, you can always get back in. I was all over the place. I was definitely biased today in NQ. So late in the afternoon, because they couldn't hold trend, yet they continued to one time frame down. Now, I didn't get hurt. I did a lot of two-sided trades, but I might have missed some more shorts that I normally would have taken because I just thought they were going to, finally stop one time framing since they couldn't hold trend. Remember, they ended up with overlapping higher value. They held yesterday's trend day. ES took back yesterday's trend day and ended up with overlapping a lower value and had a trend day down today. So there are definitely differences there. Now, I did get the long finally in M period to stop the one-time framing. I mean, it was a good day overall. I got my staple plays. I got the overnight high in A. I got A's high in B. I got the IB low in C. So I did get those, but I did go back and forth a lot in the afternoon between long and short because I was shorting because we were one time framing down in NQ, but I was also long into some visual areas thinking that we were going to finally maybe stop. And I didn't get hurt. I lost on one of those in L period on a long. But for the most part, K period, I took a long to fill the single prints. Again, they couldn't hold them. I took the long in M to stop the one-time framing. So I was two-sided. I was long early in the day in A and B, then flipped short in C and D and NQ. But then when the market, even though it was pushing lower, I didn't do anything in E or F. And then G and the rest of the day, like I said, I was back and forth. Even with the market pulling back today, nothing has changed, though. The daily is still up. All right? I don't care we closed inside of yesterday. Look, we talked about it in the room, and some people are like, well, we're not really getting extension away from previous highs. Okay, that is true. Now, Monday got good extension away from Friday, and we've held that. Tuesday didn't get any extension. We closed inside of Monday. Wednesday got some extension and closed just above Tuesday. And today got extension, but closed inside of Wednesday. So there is no doubt the market is having trouble pushing higher. Okay? Same with NQ. But you have to give the bulls their due. We're still one time framing up. So until we take out a daily low, they're up. I'm not a swing trader. I'm a day trader. As a swing trader, if you're like, well, you know what, this thing is failing here, it's having trouble. You know, this morning I'm taking a short against, say, the overnight monthly high in ES and the all-time high in NQ. Okay. You know you're out. You're like, okay, if it gets above that, I'm getting out, but I'm looking for it to rotate, take out a daily low and start rotating to the weekly balance low. Okay. But I don't do that. I'm a day trader. Okay. And looking at it, I don't ignore the fact we haven't gotten extension, but we are one time framing up for 4 days in both these things. So don't ignore that. I would not look. We're dealing with the most fickle, fragile traders known to mankind. These algo machines who are mindless, right? Mindless, and fickle retail traders who are clueless a lot of times. And that's why we keep going back and forth like we've done for 4 days. However, we've still defended the previous day's lows, right? Look at Tuesday. They tried. Nope. Wednesday tried to get Tuesday's low. Nope. Thursday tried to get Wednesday's low. Nope. Will Friday succeed? Maybe it will. Maybe it'll wipe out 4 lows. And if it does, then we're back to balance. I don't have a problem with that. In fact, hopefully I'll be on the short side when we do it. However, would you be surprised if we open at yesterday's highs again? I wouldn't. Why would you? Monthly's up, the daily's up, the weekly's balanced. Why wouldn't you? Right? So I think it's very important to keep in mind as you look at the bigger picture, but also what's happening in the inner workings, even though the intradays have really been a mishmash of back and forth between bulls controlling and bears controlling. If this week holds serve, the bulls should control them all. We've gone bull, bear, bull, bear. We'll see. Chart-wise, so look, all three of us have inside weeks. So it's a 6-week balance. Okay? Nothing's changed yet on that. So we'll see tomorrow. Do we take out last week's high? Do we take out last week's low? It all remains to be seen. I think we have pretty good odds of an inside week. We'll see. I hope we do, actually. And there's the daily. From Friday's high, it was 620, 634. We're $6 higher than Friday's high. Now, that's not a lot for 4 days. I understand that. But we are still trying to chug along to the upside. I hope you had a good day trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.